Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. Half of you are about to be mad, but someone has to say it to your face. You can cling to your nostalgic 1990s golden era project cars all you want. You can praise distributor caps, leaky valve covers, and cable throttles until you're blue in the face. But in 2001, Honda rolled out the K-Series engine line, and it completely destroyed global tuner culture. It didn't just step up the game. It changed the rules so brutally that everything before it looked like agricultural equipment. When Honda replaced the legendary B-Series, purists cried. They thought the spinny VTEC era was dead. They were wrong. The K20 took four-cylinder performance, shoved it into a high-tech pressure cooker, and spat out an absolute unit of an engine family that made every single rival four-cylinder look obsolete. If you're still dumping money into obsolete tech without looking at a K-swap, you are straight up coping. Let's get into why this engine swallowed the aftermarket whole. First big move. Honda looked at archaic distributor caps and tossed them directly into the trash where they belong. The K-Series hit the pavement equipped with DOHC valvetrains and roller rockers right on the cylinder head. Why? To obliterate internal friction. Then they brought in a coil-on plug distributorless ignition system with a dedicated coil sitting right on top of every single spark plug. No more mechanical distributor rotor slop. No more guessing timing with a gun under a dim garage light. Instead, you get a computer-controlled system that lets the ECU manage ignition timings on the fly based on direct sensor inputs. That meant instant precise control over every single combustion cycle. And look at the cylinder construction. Honda stayed smart here. They built the cylinders with cast iron sleeves, sticking with the proven durability of the B-Series and F-Series, instead of using those delicate FRM cylinders found in the H-Series and the S2000's F20C. That meant these blocks were tough as hell and ready for absolute abuse right out of the box. Now let's geek out on the block architecture, because this is where Honda gets brilliant. Just like the older B-Series, the K-Series uses two short blocks built around the exact same core design. The primary difference? Deck height. If you look at the standard K20, it uses a short block with a deck height of 212 millimeters. Compact, rigid, ready to rev. If you step up to the bigger displacement K23 and K24 blocks, Honda stretched that deck height out to 231.5 millimeters. But here is where the math gets stupid cool. Take the turbocharged K20C1 engine block. Honda gave it an offset alignment between the center line of the cylinder bore and the alignment of the crankshaft. That makes it a Desaxe engine. With an 8mm offset on that K20C1 crankshaft, the piston isn't pushing straight down against side loads during the bang stroke. It gives the power stroke way more physical leverage while burning off way less thrust energy against the cylinder sidewalls. That is pure engineering leverage. You want to talk about obsession? Let's talk about how the JDM K20A Type R engines were built. This is pure insanity. On the Japanese factory line, the JDM K20A Type R engine block wouldn't just glide down a mindless automated conveyor belt. An experienced Honda engine technician would literally pull the engine block off the production assembly line by hand. Think about that. The guy pulls the block off the line to manually torque the connecting rod bolts to factory spec using a micrometer, not a pneumatic torque gun. A micrometer to physically measure connecting rod bolts stretching under tension. Once every single bolt was checked and stretched to absolute perfection, the technician would return the block to the assembly line to complete the build. That wasn't an ultra-exotic boutique supercar build. That was a four-cylinder Honda hatchback motor getting handcrafted precision treatment. That is why those engines rip so damn hard and survive years of track abuse without tossing a rod into the next zip code. Now don't get it twisted. Not all K20s were created equal, and you need to know what you're buying so you don't get scammed. Let me explain the I in i-VTEC. That stands for variable cam timing, or VTC, added to the intake cam. But how Honda used it depended entirely on the car's mission. Take the K20A3. That was the economy setup. VTEC on that thing only operated on the intake cam. At low RPM, one intake valve opens fully while the second valve barely cracked open, just enough to swirl the air-fuel mixture for atomization. At high speeds, both intake valves finally open up to let it breathe. It's smart for gas mileage, but it isn't a race engine. Now look at the real badass. The K20A2 and the Acura RSX Type S. That unit ran full VTEC on both the intake and the exhaust valves. Multiple cam profiles on both sides, letting the head move massive air up top. That distinction is why an RSX Type S sounds like a chainsaw at 8,000 RPM, while an A3 just commutes. And that ridiculous top-end breathing brings us to the swap phenomenon. K-swaps didn't just gain popularity in the import scene. They completely took over hot rodding and kit car builds worldwide. Why? Because the aftermarket figured out how to rotate the layout. The K-series can easily be mounted in longitudinal rear-wheel drive configurations. Think about how wild that is. Suddenly, kit car guys, lightweight sports car builders, and hot rodders realized they could ditch heavy, leaky iron V8s or fragile old gearboxes for a compact aluminum four-cylinder that revs to the moon and handles boost all day long. You can drop a K20 into almost any rear-drive chassis with custom mounts, back it with a tough transmission, and build a car that embarrasses genuine supercars at the local track day. It rendered almost every other swap candidate completely redundant. Try finding another engine family with that kind of modular flexibility and aftermarket support. You can't. Then Honda went and ushered in the modern forced induction era with Earth Dreams technology. Enter the turbocharges. The K20C1 made history as the very first Honda Type R engine to ever be manufactured in the United States, built at the Honda Anna engine plant in Anna, Ohio. It was also the first time Honda ever slapped a factory turbocharger on a Type R, but look at what they did to the valvetrain on these turbo K20C units. They flipped the script and put the VTEC mechanism only on the exhaust valves to flush out exhaust gases fast and spool that turbo instantly. This design was so damn capable that motorsport sanctioning bodies grabbed it immediately. The Sports Car Club of America Formula 3 and Formula 4 series in North America both run K20C engines, with the Formula 4 cars running a naturally aspirated spec version of that exact same bulletproof K20C block. When open-wheel race series trust your street engine block to run raw open-wheel racing, you built a winner. And Honda didn't stop there with the oddballs. Take the K23A i-VTEC Turbo. It rocked a Mitsubishi TD04HL15T turbocharger with a dual-path turbine housing, optimizing low-end boost response while flowing tons of air up top. Honda mated that force-fed monster to a 5-speed automatic backed by super handling all-wheel drive, which came standard from 2007 to 2009 and optional through 2012. Even when you look across modern Acuras, Honda plays smart modular games. The KC in the RDX and the K20C6 in the TLX share identical engine internals. They just got unique internal codes for different mounting points in the sedan. Same story with the Acura Integra Type S running the K20C8. It's practically identical to the K20C1 under the skin. From hand-torqued rod bolts in Japan to Ohio-built turbo engines running Formula 4, the K20 wiped the floor with its competition. So go ahead, drop a comment and tell me I'm wrong. Are you running a K-swap yet, or are you still stuck in the past with a distributor?